Welcome to Open Up Relationships. Before we continue, make sure you subscribe to this channel. We regularly upload high-quality videos. You can like this video to support the channel. R/surviving infidelity. I was a simp until I realized she is cheating with me. And there in the washroom, I for the very first time opened her phone, and what I saw shook the world beneath me. She had been my crush since 8th standard. After being friends since 4 years subsequent, we were in a very deep relationship. Since we both belong to a conservative society, it is here difficult to even meet once a month, but we managed to do it thrice or sometimes more than that a week. I used to save money only for her, just to give her a fancy gift, taking her to a decent restaurant, decent gifts only so that she can feel special. Since I knew how much time and temper it took all those years just to get her, I used to protect her like a flower and treat her as a queen. Giving up after all arguments, fights and everything just so that I may not lose her. She also loved me, at least that was she said. 2 years after being in a relationship, I caught her cheating on me, and the way I caught her was quite a very unnatural movie scene. I never asked for her passwords, her phones or anything. Never wanted to make her feel uncomfortable. But since she used to sit right beside the driver's seat, I somehow unintentionally saw her phone pattern one day. Even that didn't make me unconscious because I trusted her. One day I parked my car near a public washroom, telling her that the engine is heating up. Borrowed her phone to have the LED light to watch the engine. I took her phone to the washroom to fill up the water bottle for my engine. And there, in the washroom, I for the very first time opened her phone, and what I saw shook the world beneath me. We were having issues for 3-4 months. Serious fights and all, but end of the day I used to give up and things kept on dragging. I used to cry madly for her and kept on doing any shitty thing just to please her. I was an example among my friends on how loyal and loving a boy should be towards his girl, and vice versa, and her girls on how an ideal boy one should have. She had been sexting with one of her coaching teachers who became friends with her just 4 months prior. They were exchanging inappropriate pictures, kept on meeting, and had been physical already. The phone was full of such photos of them. I had never ever asked her for any sexual photo that we had a physical relation, but I tried never to do any inappropriate thing before getting married. I came back, not knowing how to even walk, coming from the washroom. Sitting in the car, drove it to another place, stopped it, had tears in my eyes, and asked her, "You know I've always trusted you. I fear that you don't trust me for these few months. You've been acting weird. What's the problem, baby? Am I starting to hurt you already?" "No. Who said such? You're a man every girl dream of. I can never even think of you being with anyone else. I'll kill that woman. You're mine forever. Don't you worry, I'm all yours." After her words, I showed her phone and the pictures. I remember for the very first time in my life I abused horribly and started shouting at her. "This is what you call loyalty. This is how your parents have raised you. You're a whore." And tons of abuses. She started crying, held me forcefully, asking for forgiveness, but that was the very time I stood for myself, and threw her out of the car in the middle of the city. I had completely lost my cool that day. She kept messaging me, used to call me at 4 to 5 a.m., crying that she cannot sleep. She's sorry, but I ignored and even went harsh on her on messages. It's been 2 years now and I've progressed miraculously. I cannot believe it myself. When she used to be around, I was never able to focus on any other subject rather than love in her, and have learned a very valuable lesson in life. Some things in life are not at all in your control. You can try to do so, but if it's difficult, one should let it be. R/marriage. Caught my wife sexting her best friend's husband for 1+ year. Okay, ready to drop this roller coaster of a story and get some opinions. So, I have caught my wife 2 times before sexting with exes, either wild cuckolding fantasies or dick pics, and lying about meeting up with an ex. She is still in contact with all on social media, I found out. I feel some distance between us the last few weeks, and tried to talk about it. Was brushed away as nonsense. I see she's still following dick pic ex on Instagram, and have a bad feeling. Though I feel terrible about it, I check her WhatsApp on her laptop and found out she is sexting for at least a month with the husband of her best friend, who is 6 months pregnant with their second child. They were talking about having sex in the shower on our upcoming holiday and made plans last month to fuck in a parking lot. I confront her about it. She denies and says I'm seeing things. I'm overly jealous. I say I have screenshots from the last couple of weeks of their chats, and finally she confesses to have sent a couple of naughty texts. I have her call her best friend to confess everything, and she's in shock. She admits to having an addiction to get other males' attention stemming from low self-esteem. We have been together for 13 years, married for 7, 2 kids. I have given her everything, have given up most of my social life as she runs a dance school, and is a part-time gymnastic trainer, next to her regular teaching job. She swears it's only texting, and everything is a lie she told him. It's part of a game to edge each other on. She admits to sending pics, but only fully clothed. She normally sees him multiple times a week. She is also in contact with sext affair number 1 and talking about it with current sext affair to judge him worthy of her attention. She is unwilling to cut him out of her life, because she's not giving up her friendship or her gymnastics job, of which this guy is also head of. For the sake of the kids, I give marriage counseling a go, but for the last 3 weeks she flips between sort of remorse and blaming me, and telling me she's not a lapdog begging for forgiveness. And how I can never be trusted, because I checked her laptop. Her best friend, who of course also got cheated on, has forgiven her in 2 weeks' time, and they are besties again. I've informed her family, and while her parents are angry at her, to also tell me to stop being childish, and get over it, for the sake of the kids. Tonight, I sat down with her, and I want a divorce. I have had enough and I'm done. Now here are some top comments and replies. She will never change, you did the right thing. Yeah, I think that's pretty normal to feel that way. My ex's family did the same thing to me when I ended it. He cheated when my daughter was 5 months, and his sister had the audacity to say that maybe I was having PPD, because I wouldn't forgive him since we had a child together. Thought I was going nuts. Some people. I'm glad that all your friends and family support you. And how I can never be trusted, because I checked her laptop. Is it a joke? She's now trying to put the blame on you for her terrible behavior. She really thinks that snooping and cheating have the same weights. It's almost like, hey, I robbed a bank, but you were not innocent, because you threw candy wrapper on the floor, so you are in the wrong too. What a pathetic piece of human. r/surviving infidelity. Wife left me, and the kids for a co-worker. I've been lurking here for a while, and thought I should introduce myself. I'm a disabled vet and currently unemployed, because of the pandemic. I had to stay home, while my wife worked. We had just had our son right before COVID went down, so he's 1 now. I cooked, cleaned, did the laundry, I did all the housework without complaint. I took care of our 9 and 1-year-old, making sure school went well, made meals, the whole 9 yards. My ex and I both grew up in troubled homes, so the plan was to be the parent we needed when we were kids. Turns out she had our last kid, because she didn't love me anymore. She thought it would reignite something. She starts to work more, which I support. We need money. Things start going bad with COVID and we need to move into my mom's house, so we can save money, and she doesn't have to work as much. She's had a boyfriend since March. I had a feeling in April or so. By my birthday in May I knew. She didn't even hug me. I never felt so alone. Now, me and the kids are living at my mom's. She's moved in with her boyfriend. It's been almost a month since we've been here. My daughter wants nothing to do with her mom. My son doesn't even ask her for milk or cares when she leaves. They're over the initial loss, I think. But I feel so alone. It feels like when you're walking with someone, and you start telling a story, then you turn to look at them and they're gone. It's like that X100. 14 years wasted. All I do is work out. I'm finally under 200 pounds for the first time in years. All I can think is keep moving forward for my kids. Thanks for letting me vent. Now here are some top comments and replies. First off, sorry you have to go through this. Lawyer up, Get a separation document drawn up, and get proof of the infidelity. Lots of lawyers are willing to take up the cause of a disabled vet who's been cheated on. Get documentation on the child abandonment. Make sure you are known as the primary caretaker. She will be on the hook for spousal support and for child support. Don't let her sit there and do things on her own schedule. She'll try to bully you. Get ahead of her. Get shit done now, soldier. Man, I'm sorry for you and the children. Frankly, that woman is a pig. She is neither a faithful wife, nor a good mother. Please consider individual and possibly family counseling for you and the kids. Document everything for your attorney and get that process rolling before she comes out of the affair fog and starts the full reconciliation bullshit, because AP dropped her like a deuce. Documentation of abandonment and strange men will help your case in custody. Take good care of those precious kids.